Hola, ¿qué tal? Bienvenido o bienvenida a clase número 5. So welcome to class number 5, and today we're looking at going to the doctors and the chemist. En español, el médico y la farmacia. Okay, so to start with, we're going to have a look at some of the body parts, the vocabulary for body parts in Spanish, which is ideal to know if you're at the chemist or at the doctor's. So we have el pelo, hair, la cabeza, head, el cuello, neck. So remember that the double L in Spanish is the y, like the y in yolk, el cuello. Throat would be la garganta, la garganta. Los hombros, shoulders. Los brazos would be arms. Los dedos, fingers. Las manos, hands. La espalda would be your back. La barriga, belly, stomach. You could say estómago if you want to refer to stomach as in the organ. Las piernas, legs, knees would be las rodillas. Los pies, feet. Los dedos de los pies, the fingers of the feet, which would be toes in Spanish. Los dedos de los pies. And then we have parts of the face, las partes de la cara. Los ojos, remember in the J, the throat sound, los ojos. La nariz. Also, if we want to have a little recap of the masculine and feminine words, because ojo is an O ending, it's masculine. One eye would be el ojo, and two eyes, los ojos. And nariz, words ending with a Z in Spanish are normally feminine, la nariz, with the la feminine. La oreja, ear. La boca, mouth. Los labios, lips. Los dientes, teeth. La lengua, tongue, and forehead would be la frente. So an ideal thing to do, whether you're using this on your computer or tablet, or if you've printed a copy of the booklet out, would be to write the English translations to these along the way. So you could rewind this part of the video back and just take a note of what these body parts are in English. I like to have mine printed and kind of keep it all together and take notes with a pen, but that's each to their own, or you could take a note on the computer or whatever. So if you rewind the first bit of the video and just get the English names of these written down. Right, I'm going to read them again in Spanish so we can really focus on the pronunciation before we move on with some little phrases that we could use in both the doctors and the chemist. El pelo, la cabeza, el cuello, la garganta, los hombros, los brazos, los dedos, las manos, la espalda, la barriga o el estómago, el estómago, if you want to take a note of that as well. If you were just referring to tummy ache in general, you could say la barriga, or if it were a more precise, like an exact stomach problem that you know for sure it's coming from that organ, el estómago. Las piernas, legs, las rodillas, remembering the y sound of the double L, and also remembering that when a word starts with an R, we would roll the R. Las rodillas. Los pies. Los dedos de los pies. Y ahora, and now, Las partes de la cara, parts of the face. Los ojos, la nariz, la oreja, la boca, los labios, los dientes, la lengua y la frente. Okay. I'm also going to mention here where we've got ear. La oreja is ear referring to the external part of the ear. So if we wanted to refer to the inner ear, we would say in Spanish, el oído, el oído, which if you're going to the chemist or the doctors, it's probably the inner ear. It could be an infection, which are very common here from the swimming pools in the summer. You would say, me duele el oído. If you've got an earache, me duele el oído. And we'll get back to me duele in a minute on our vocabulary list. So external part of the ear, la oreja, and the inner ear, el oído. You can see here that there's an accent on the I, which is showing you that the strength is in that part of the word, oído. So the beginning part of the word, the first syllable, is where the strength is, oído. Ok, muy bien. Deshacemos. Okay. So here we've got some other parts of the body for you to take note of also. So I'm going to do these in Spanish. I'm also going to tell you the English translation and you can take notes of the English yourself. Vale, tenemos aquí, we have here, we could say el estómago or el abdomen, or we could use the other word at the top, barriga. All of those would be valid. El estómago, chin, we would say en español la barbilla, la barbilla. Mouth, I think we would have already mentioned above. I believe that we've mentioned it in the drawings above, just that these drawings are a little bit more advanced than the previous ones. La boca, mouth, la boca. And arm, we've said, is el brazo. Face, la cara. A lot of these are in the pictures above, but it's just nice to have a few different pictures and ways to go over it. Eyebrow would be la ceja, and elbow would be el codo. El codo, and spine would be la columna, like the column, la columna. Heart in Spanish, we would say el corazón. El corazón, and neck, el cuello, which we've had above also. Body in general, we would say el cuerpo. El cuerpo. And if you wanted to say bottom, the polite way, we would say el trastero. Perdón, el trasero. El trasero. That would be the politest way. For instance, if you had sciatica and the pain was going up, you could say, me duele el trasero. Okay, let's have a look at the last few. Finger, el dedo, this one we could use at the chemist, at the dentist. Las encías are gums. Back, la espalda, and forehead, we've said before, la frente. The last few, tongue would be la lengua, hand, la mano, cheek, la mejilla, and wrist is la muñeca. So remembering the ñ sound of the Spanish N, ñ, la muñeca. Obviously, these are something that require quite a bit of practice to remember, but it's just having them there and keep going over it, going over it as much as you can until you start to remember some of them. Okay, we've got a few more. We've got, for instance, here, thigh would be el muslo. Nose, la nariz. Eye, el ojo. Belly button, el ombligo. I've left this so that you write them down yourself, just so you've kind of really got that practice of writing the word down next to the picture so that it starts to associate in your head as you're copying it out. Helps you memorize it. El ombligo. Ear, we've said before, la oreja or el oído. La oreja, external part of the ear, inner ear, el oído. Then we have el pelo, which can also be called in Spanish el cabello. It's the same thing, just that sometimes if you go into the pharmacy to buy a certain type of shampoo for whatever reason, the more formal way is el cabello. El pie would be foot. And here I'm thinking just leg in general, which we've also seen, la pierna. Muy bien. Fist would be puño. So if you're having your blood taken, sometimes you're told to make a fist with your hand, and this is called el puño. They would say, haz un puño, make a fist, haz un puño con la mano, make a fist with your hand. Ni la rodilla, breasts, the most polite way we would probably say, we would say los pechos. If we're needing a mammogram or anything medical, we would say los pechos. I'm going to write that here because for some reason it's moved. Aquí, los pechos. And then if you wanted to say underarm, you would say el axila, which is also normally checked if you're having something like a mammogram. los pechos y el axila. Then the last two we have are foot and ankle. No, heel and ankle. So heel would be el talón. And ankle, el tobillo. So let's try to bear in mind some of these words, some of this vocabulary, and use them in our sentences now below. Okay, sentences for doctors and pharmacy. So we have me duele and me duelen. What is the difference? So me duele means it hurts me, and me duelen is they hurt me. So if we're referring to one body part, we would always use me duele. So we can go ahead with lots of the examples that we've just looked at. I have a headache, my head's hurting me. Me duele la cabeza. My hearing, my ears hurting me. Me duele el oído. My knees hurting me. Me duele la rodilla. Or if you wanted to use me duelen, they hurt me, more than one. Me duelen los ojos, plural. Me duelen las rodillas. Both of my knees are hurting me. Me duelen las piernas. Both of my legs are hurting me. And that's where we would differentiate. Me duele one part, me duelen more than one. Me duele la cabeza, me duele el oído, me duele la rodilla, me duele el estómago, me duele el ojo o me duelen los ojos. Me duelen las rodillas, me duelen las piernas, my arms are hurting, me duelen los brazos. Okay, for example. So you could use that with the list of vocabulary above and really practice. If they're asking you, does it hurt you? ¿Te duele? ¿Te duele could be referred to in general, is it hurting? Or we could use it with a body part. So again, does it hurt you? Singular. ¿Te duele la cabeza? Have you got a headache? Is your head hurting you? ¿Te duele la cabeza? ¿Te duele el estómago? ¿Te duele ¿Te duele la espalda? Is your back hurting you? Or even stuff like, is it hurting? Does it hurt here? ¿Te duele aquí? No. Bien. ¿Te duele aquí? So if they're checking where the pain is, does it hurt here? Yes, no. Does it hurt here? Or more than one, again, ¿te duelen? ¿Te duelen los codos? What are los codos? Go back to your list and check it out. And try to have a real practice with all of the body parts with those first four on the list. Necesito algo para. Necesito is I need. Algo is something. And para is for. I need something for. So you could need something for a cough. Necesito algo para una tos. O necesito necesito algo para una tos. I need something for a cough. Necesito algo para una infección. I need something for an infection. Type of things you might want to ask at the chemist. Or I have. Tengo. Tengo tos o tengo una tos. Tengo una infección. I have an infection. Una receta would be a prescription, which now at the Spanish medical centers you can get a printed prescription, or sometimes the prescription just gets sent to the pharmacy, and what you have to do is either give them your health card, your tarjeta de salud, your health card, or your NIE, your NIE number, and the pharmacy will know what medication you've been sent by your doctor. Una receta, prescription, which is also called now, if it's the non-paper version, which they're using a lot now, it would be called receta electrónica, which is like the online, the one that gets sent to the pharmacy prescription. Pastillas are tablets, comprimidos are pills, pomada is an ointment, crema, cream, plasters, tiritas, tiritas. And then other handy vocabulary, a blood test would be a blood analysis, análisis de sangre, a test of whatever kind, prueba de, orina, for example, a urine sample, urine test, prueba de orina. An appointment, una cita, so you could say, you could use necesito, I need, necesito una cita. Tarjeta de salud would be your health card, and then your provisional health card, which is a piece of paper that you get while you're waiting for your official health card to come in the post, which can take very long time, would be tarjeta provisional, which is what you'd need to show at the medical center at reception. If you were booking an appointment and your health card isn't ready yet, you'll have a piece of paper called tarjeta provisional. Okay, let's read these through in Spanish without the translations, just to hear the pronunciation. Me duele, me duelen, te duele, te duelen. So when we're asking a question, the tone of our voice goes up a little bit. Necesito algo para. Tengo una tos o tengo una infección. Necesito algo para una tos o una infección. Una receta electrónica, pastillas, comprimidos, pomada, crema, tiritas, análisis de sangre, prueba de, una cita, tarjeta de salud, tarjeta provisional. Muy bien. Also, let's add, I would like an appointment with the doctor. Quiero una cita. I want an appointment con el médico. So if we're going in to book an appointment, quiero una cita con el médico. Another interesting one maybe we could add here, I have, if you have an allergy. Tengo una alergia. Tengo una alergia. Tengo una alergia. I have an allergy. Tengo una alergia a, which would be I have an allergy to. And then you could say what the allergy is. And then also for taking tablets, the doctor might say something like cada 8 horas, every 8 hours, o 4 veces al día, 4 times a day, or 2 veces al día. Vez would be times, vez would be 1 time singular, and veces would be times in plural. So you might hear, listen out for cada 8 horas, o 4 veces al día, o 2 veces al día. Okay, so I hope that you get on well with these phrases and the body parts as well, which are a lot of practice. But there's many options. You could even print 2 copies of this part of this particular lesson, lesson 4. something I've done with students in the past is kind of put the Spanish word underneath here with a pen, cut them into little pieces, and do a little like a bingo game, or putting them in a little bag and pulling them out and seeing which ones you remember, or even writing the name on the back, pulling one out, looking, see if I remember it. If not, turn it over. There's lots of ways to get your memory going, to practice them, and you can always watch the video more than once. Muchas gracias y mucha suerte. So best of luck with your body parts and your chemist and doctor's vocabulary. Adiós, muchas gracias y nos vemos en la próxima clase. So I'll see you in the next lesson. Adiós.